Play capture there. Bam. Testing, testing, testing. Let's see. Do do do. You do do do. Doodly doo. Doodly doo doo. Aloha. Lancel, I should take care of your thing right here on the air. Actually, maybe I shouldn't. I'm probably not going to do a full hour stream here. I've got a ton to do, obviously, with tomorrow being release day. And I did just take a shower just for you guys because I was disgusting. There is a new QA build that is, I just released it. Watching right now to see if, let's see, what are we waiting on there? Oh, hold on, got something blocked here. Okay, now there should be a new one. Oh, I do both? Both, Lancel? Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's doing the next patch. All the stuff I've been ignoring you on. Lancel, I know you're in that area, general area. You guys doing anything for the hurricane? Laura, I believe the name is. Okay, reread what I sent you. It will help. Just gonna reach out to a few people I know in that area and see, make sure they're taking proper precautions. Yo, Snugsy one. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you were in that area, but I didn't know how hard that was going to get hit. Here in Austin, we have a hurricane about to hit right at the border of Texas, and we're probably not going to get any rain. Although technically I don't want rain right now because I left all my power tools out for the last few days and I don't want them to get rained on. So if I see it starting to rain outside, I may have to jump up and go take care of stuff. Save taming. Taming is doing quite alright. I'm trying to save the tanks right now. Yeah, we're crazy bad on the rain. We have a creek at the back of our property that's been dry for weeks. Bears are tanks. Huh? Yeah? Hold on, I'm still waiting on the publishing stuff here. Stop that build. Do my stuff. Okay, now I think it's done with everything except for the server item reports for the server. Yeah, dry at their house too. Yeah, it's bad. And it's been 100 plus days, and then it finally dropped to 95, 98 degree days, and not fun times. All right. Now will you pick up the right game? Hold on. Bam. But anyways. Alright, now that I solved enough and there's at least a few people, I thought I'd just get on and do a quick stream. Let me get the chat bot up so you guys can officially ask me questions. If you guys don't have any questions, I've got hundreds I can go through. I thought I'd just do a quick play test on the QA client that I published without testing. Hopefully it's good though, because right now this is building with about 2 changes as the live gold candidate. we'll see how things go here. This has my changes from the last few days. I think a lot of people saw me making tons of changes. A lot of those were not made as I was posting them. They actually take some work. Those were me testing changes I had made that had been sitting around in change list that I just wanted to clear out and make sure they were all in and good. So some armor changes, again, mostly to the heavier armors. Again, largely looking at the making damage resist meaningful. Let's see. Last week, looks like you've been hitting combat skills again. How goes the crafting review? The crafting review is going good. Some of it is, again, it's trickling out. I'm not hitting the stuff I thought I would be hitting because as I dig into more and more stuff, there is just an insane number of changes that I would really like to make in terms of, again, just wasted content. One of the things going live that'll be in this build is that I had sitting around. I think I talked about on a previous stream, which was looking at the armor and trying to figure out like what is the value of armor. The value of armor is practically nothing. It's one of those reasons that tanks half the time don't even wear heavy armor. The real value of armor is about 0, and then you get a little bit of value from the real value comes from the being able to enchant masterwork it, as you would expect. So that's one of the things I actually was just doing, is trying to make those things valuable. Another thing I ran into is there's an armor type that you will never see in game that is the half torso armors. I believe it's in at least plate and chain. There's like a half torso version that has a different visual version that actually is different looking, noticeably different than the others. No one ever wears it though because it's worse in every way. 1/2 1/4? Yes. The 1/2 1/4, looking at it, again, no one really has a reason to wear it. It even had lower durability than the full one, which again, all that is great for reality modeling. But when you're looking at a game where people also want to min-max, they're not willing to give up, just for reality modeling, they're not willing to give up the min-max aspect of things. So those were not being used really. They would get crafted occasionally, but usually what I've been finding is I dig into the crafting stuff. A lot of the things I have to dig into, like I've been having to update some of the logs and some of the other metric type stuff to dig a little bit deeper. But the thing I've been finding is a lot of that stuff, it's like, oh, these things get crafted, 20 times a week or something like that. That's not horrible. But really what it ends up being is a lot of people will go and craft stuff because they want that first, second, third, fourth time learning modifier. So those were things that they were being crafted, but they weren't really being used. Another thing I look at is, when people go and repair, people, that's as meaningful as anything else, because that's one of the few real indicators that I have that people are actually using something, making use of something. And that was an armor type that compared to others does not get repaired. Like never gets repaired. Sorgan says if it had risk reward for better fizzle mitigation than full plate. So yeah, so that was kind of the thing, was it was a little bit better on those things. The biggest thing on it, honestly, was the durability was not, it was lower than the full one, and that had to be fixed. I went ahead and bumped it up to the full one, and again, to make it just a visual choice. Now, if you guys believe there's actually somewhere to kind of make that like a middle ground between chain and plate, then that's something I could also look at, is making that, dropping that a little bit, dropping the fizzle a little bit, making that more meaningful that way. There is, in this version, it'll be fixed in the real live version, or at least in a patch immediately after the live version. The crafting side didn't get updated in terms of what it takes to craft it, so now it's just a cheaper version that you can craft a full plate. And then also, I believe on some of them I missed the fizzle update, lowering the fizzle chance. So See, Raven, there's my question not working. Oh no, it looks like you put a colon after it. I probably should update that so it is a little less picky about what it takes. Could the craftable red dress be made craftable in something other than the plain cotton, like Carpathian or fustian? Thanks. Probably. Yeah. Oh, and just so you guys know, this release will have some of the armor changes I plan on making. It was really just a really first pass, get it close. What I'd like to be able to do is, I think people saw some of the stuff I did for Obsidian. Now, Obsidian's going to be more of the high end. That's basically, I tried to make it kind of like this is a player crafted artifact equivalent. You know, because it takes a lot of, you know, it's easier to find an artifact than it is to craft that stuff. I think people probably know that. There's more effort involved in it. So I tried to pull it up to be more of a, you know, the high end of things. Now, the other armors I gave them for this initial build, I gave them durability boost, or not durability boost, I gave them damage resistance boost. My fish are making little splash noises. I was checking to see what was up. Giving them damage resistance boost and making sure all the durabilities were where they should be. For some of them, like plate mail, it got some damage avoidance, which is the one that'll give you glancing blows. It had some already, but not a ton. And I didn't give them any stats. Now, what I'd like to do is also be able to go in and give them more stats and look at trying to make, you know, the different styles of armor. But what again, this is one of the challenges we have, is if I make some piece of armor that looks different from another one, but has the same stats, you guys will pick the one you like. If I make one that is different but has different stats, you don't care what the look is. You'll take the worst look every time if it gives you, you know, a fraction of a percent better anything. So I've got to be really careful in that, because I'm trying to make it so you do have a choice, but I am also trying to make it so there's reasons to use each of them. Let's see. Oh yeah, I need to get the raffle going. Hold on, let me get a giveaway going. I'm rusty. Did I do a live stream last? If I didn't do one last week, I did the week before. Let's see. I'm on QA, but we will go with. Let's see. How about recently added? Looking for prizes. How about a block letter set? Block letter set. Hold on, I'm getting the thing going. All right, there we go. Let's see. Is it letting you raffle? Hold on. Oh, yeah, enter the giveaway. Perfect. I'm in Tanglemire. Oh, I know something I need to test here. So this release, there's a bunch of stuff done in terms of little tweaks. I think Elgarion's working on a write-up for a more complete list. Lots of bug fixes. Let's see, what else? Again, balance stuff, at least one you've seen. Some gear balance stuff. Let's see if my fix. I tried to fix this stuff. This was in the, yay. In the last live stream, you could walk right through this stuff. Alright, that's fixed. Oh, and I guess one thing I could do right now, you guys could do this too if you got on QA. But a shooting star, you should be able to train that at the trainer. Whoops. So I did the VFX for this. Yeah, programmer art. That makes Damon the actual artist who does that stuff usually. That makes him very sad. He's going to be redoing the VFX. He also is creating icons, both for that skill and for another number of other skills as well that have had duplicate icons. So the idea, this is a skill. This is one that I've known it was needed for a while. I just, again, haven't had a ton of time to work on new skills, and when I have wanted to work on them, there's also concerns about having time to get the art done. So the idea, the design behind this, and again, I don't have any moon attunement or any items aimed for making this powerful. But the idea is that it is a very high focus cost skill that does its quick cast time, which means fast charge time is the other bonus for that. And the idea is that it's a quick cast, high power, high damage. It'll do more base damage than any other single target spell, I believe. It's more than Ice Arrow, more than Stone Arrow. Of course, there's always a lot of bonuses can go on those, so your mileage may vary, as they say. But the idea being that it is a fast charge, fast cast, high damage, but extremely high focus. Yes, I'm getting the potential network trouble because I'm publishing the server in the background. This is when I also remind people that we keep our QA server running on absolutely hideous hardware. It's on a 1.8 gigahertz server box running as a VM on that box. So if you ever see problems that happen on QA but don't happen on live, that's part of why we keep QA on a bad box, so we can try and catch those things. Because if it happens on the weak server, then it may happen under load on the better servers. Oh, and of course, the important stuff is, I believe I've got light. There's a light on there, so I know it's small stuff. But you can expect Damon to take a full pass on that in terms of the VFX for it. Let me reload here while I talk to you guys. Will there be an enchant for Shooting Star also? So I'm looking at the enchant stuff. That's one of those, I'm sure you know, I've talked about this before, Elron, that there's a bunch of things I want to add to the enchants, but I can't add them until I get some other tech to unblock it. I mean, I could add it, and again, it would feel neat, but it would make crafting what you want even way more difficult than what it was before. I've looked at having improving that situation through a reroll, and for those who are the uninitiated or haven't heard me talk about this stuff before, the problem is there's a certain number of enchants, and you get to pick from 1 to 3, it'll grab 3 out of there. Well, if I go and add more enchants, then yay, you get more things to choose from, but you still only get to choose 3 each time, and a lot of times the challenge is getting the right item and getting just the 3, just the enchants you want on it. So expanding that list actually makes it more difficult to get what you want. So just expanding the list actually will punish players to some extent. So again, I'm looking at either adding the 4th slot in there, making that something where sometimes you can get a 4th slot, or making it so you can get the reroll option more often. The reroll is obviously the lower hanging fruit. But again, I'm going to be looking into that. But I need to get something in there because I do want to add those type of things. I do want to add some more enchants, including like a Shooting Star enchant, just like there's, Obsidian Arrow or Stone. We change that. This is one of those things. It's named one thing in code and one thing in Stone Arrow. Yeah, it was Obsidian Arrow. It's called Obsidian Arrow when I look at it in code or look at it in data. But we changed the name to Stone Arrow because Obsidian has a certain meaning in the game. Let's see. Let me scroll back up here. Let's see. Giveaway, giveaway, giveaway. Question: is there anything that could destroy plate in one hit? I've experienced this in my alts. I wouldn't think it should be able to do it in one hit. Now the damage, there was a damage cap that was very low, which was changed, I forget, 3 or 4 releases ago, maybe 2 releases ago. Maybe last release, they all blend together. I know it was changed in a previous release though. And that was, the change was the damage that your armor could sustain for the calculations for how much actual durability it took off. That was capped at a really low number. And I'm thinking it was maybe like 50. It was somewhere down in that range. It was somewhere a fraction of what actual max hits ended up being. So the result was like really big hits would do the same, fighting and stuff. It wouldn't matter how much you got hit for. You'd always take the same amount of damage if you took anything. So that I removed that cap, or at least raised it up. I forget whether I may have raised it to 1,000. But that should increase the damage it can take in the, some amount. But it shouldn't no armor should be destroyed in a single hit. If you can give me more information on that, I'd love to hear about that. We do log some information on durability. I'm not sure we log enough so I could debug something like that. You've logged a bug for that? Huh. Do you have repro steps for it? Yeah, let me know if it happens again. Spamming body slam. So that is, there's a number of things. There's a couple things that can increase the damage that your armor takes. Whether it's, I think I've got a Kabbalist debuff. There's some skills that could do it. So there's some ways you could get it up there. Like if you were fighting a Kabbalist and you were fighting that Kabbalist, then yeah, they could get nasty in terms of how much damage your armor takes. But I'm guessing it wasn't that. Showing 66 durability hit. Ether Dragon. Yeah, I still wouldn't expect it to be 66. That would be, that's kind of crazy. Verbose info in the bug report. Yeah, so I can look at, if there's verbose info on it, then I can look at that. Yeah, 66 sounds insane and absolutely not intended. I know I tested that pretty extensively. This release, damage resist that changes in for fighting big things. So your damage resist scales for hits over a certain amount. Trying to remember if I updated all the different text for that. Wow, it's getting long. Yeah, so I think that's a hidden feature. That's one of those things you guys will know about, but I need to get some notes in there for it. Update those notes. But that is the damage resist scaling. I think it starts at hits over 500, actually scale the damage resist up from there. But if you're heavy armor spec, then the heavy armor number gets subtracted off that. So if you have like 120 heavy armor spec, your armor will scale at 380. So for instance, if you have 100 damage resist, you get hit for 380. You get hit for 760 to keep the math simple. Then it'll double how much your damage resist is. And actually, I'm thinking it's 400, not 500. Question, will the armor changes... Hey, it's Snug's asking about taming stuff. Will the armor changes help tame pets with a higher armor like bears? Yeah, it's not just a player thing. Now, the number that they get for it will not drop, so it'll always be 400. Hits over 400 will scale up the damage or damage resist. Durability chance random. Damage amount 10. Armor durability multiplier 3. Yeah, I'll have to look at that. There's no way that it should be doing that much damage. I'll copy that out of that report right there. Dread. And I guess that's something that was already on live, so. Yeah, the fact that 66.666, a little suspicious. Let's see. But yes, the other thing is that damage resistance number for where that starts scaling. That's another thing I would love to get like into enchant, so you can build plate armor that starts scaling higher, so it even multiplies its damage resist even more for fighting high tier, for fighting big stuff. Boo! I don't have anything to summon big in my buffer. Let's see. So I'm going to go grab some questions here. I think I'm already 2:30. So let me go ahead and do a first pick or first drawing for a giveaway, and then I'm going to give away one big item at the end of the stream. Trying to remember if we had some other topics I was going to talk about. We're going to have, for the Friday stream, we're going to have, for those who remember long ago, I think he hasn't been with the team for maybe 3.5 years, maybe 3 years, Finn Staber. He was, I'm trying to remember what his GM name was, but he was a fairly social guy. He would be on every stream we'd let him be on, but he's going to be on our Friday stream. So that'll be nice. He left, not because he hated us, but because his passion is actually in VR stuff. So he really, really wanted to do VR stuff. So he left to start up his own little company. It's not that little, but I mean, start up his own company called Chicken Waffle, and he's had a few releases, but he has another one out on Steam that I told him to come on and pimp his game on our stream, say hi to people. So he's going to be on for a Friday stream. Let's see what else. I guess I had some other stuff. We've been trying to stay on top of community stuff. It's always challenging. We know there's been, of course, with some recent things that have happened, there's been some stuff. Oh, also one that I just found out from a player was they showed me a chart of our revenue that they generated. So apparently this came from, we have the public API, and the public API, I guess it's showing when store items appear, so it's logging those as well. So people are calculating from that, I think. So I looked at it, I thought it was actually pretty cool, but no, we probably will block that. It did show good stuff, but the thing I will point out that doesn't show is that only shows a fraction of our revenue. It won't show anything that's bought from the store. It doesn't show any support tickets. It doesn't show any deed upgrades. Deed upgrades actually that's where people upgrade deeds in-game, but they make up about 1/3 of our revenue alone. It doesn't show things like people paying rent with crowns. It doesn't show things like people doing the new U. It doesn't show, like, there's this whole list of like 20 or 30 things that it will not show up on that. But yeah, that was showing Kodo sales, so that does show the Kodo sales, and so that's somewhat indicative, and I think that was actually pretty cool that they pulled that out. I think they were actually pulling that for a positive reason, because someone was saying some game not sustainable stuff, but we actually have been trending up for the last year on revenue, and I think we have to do our quarterly numbers. I think that actually goes to the Seed Invest guys. It goes to the lawyer that I have to send everything to, and then he's supposed to give it to the Seed Invest guys. I don't know if you guys actually can see that, but it's all pretty public information, and we've actually been trending upwards. So yay in terms of revenue, and that's, I think this quarter will probably be the highest quarter we've had in a year. So positive stuff. Good stuff. But anyways, we probably will, even though that's kind of cool that you guys had that, and it was something somebody used to make a positive point. Probably still pull that out. Not really something we want people seeing, but it does only capture a fraction of things. Also, things like I think we've sold 3 or 4 Lord of the Isles. That doesn't show up on there. It also does not show pot upgrades, which there were quite a few of those, and pot purchases. So again, only captures the in-game decorations, but it does show what when decorations are popular. Let's see. Speaking of popular decorations, since we'll probably announce it in a day or two, I'm going to go ahead and spill the beans. Kodo sale? Oh, you're requesting Kodo sales. Well, that's what I was just about to spill the beans on, which is we try not to talk about Kodo sales in advance, because the second we say, hey, there's a Kodo sale coming, guess what? Nobody buys any crowns until the sale starts, or anything until the sale starts. But we do have a holiday coming up. We'll probably start just to go with the release. It's either going to be with the release or it'll be Friday. It may be with the release. But we're going to have a crown sale starting up here soon. Woo! Thank you very much, Somber78. So anyways, that'll start up here shortly. Also, we will probably, I think we made some announcement about the experience going down. There were 2 reasons the double experience point going down. We had 2 reasons why we're not going to do that yet. One is I still need to finish doing an experience pass on the higher tier creatures to get it back to a point that feels more appropriate. It won't be fully 2x experience points, but it'll be better. Again, a lot of the problems we have are just, creatures of different difficulty do not measure up in terms of their risk reward. But then the other reason is we're going to have the crown sale, and that's probably going to go through Labor Day. So that'll probably start this weekend and run through Labor Day. So 10 days or so. But anyways, you can look forward to those. Probably do flash sales. I'm not sure what else we'll do, but I made sure to tell Community the Avatar Elgarion not to spill the beans. But there, I just spilled the beans. So that will be happening soon. Let's see. What else? Let me see what questions you guys have thrown up there. And again, I was trying to keep this a short stream. I got stuff going on. And spoilers. Why is that taking so long? Spoilers, I'm really here talking to you because I'm waiting on the live builds to finish for the gold candidates so I can go test those. So when those finish up, I will jump off. But it looks like they still have about 30 minutes left before I can test them. So let's see. Yeah, and for those who don't know how we work, again, I know some people were trying to cast doubt on the project, but in terms of, again, relative to other projects, other big MMOs or whatever, they have a habit of, as soon as they are not considered profitable, they said they have a really high minimum bar for what they consider worth keeping around. And when it drops below that, they'll kill an MMO. I mean, we've seen that happen a number of times. Our bar for that is basically 0. I mean, it's nearly 0. So the way things are set up, again, revenue for us is I get to bring on some more people, or I get to put people on more people on full-time rather than contract hourly. But the revenue floor for us is insanely low, like under $100 a day basically is more like $50 a day would be our kind of our floor for where things are break even if we have to get down there, but we would never get there. So anyway, so that's in terms of stability and long-term viability. I think people know we keep our costs super low. Again, I just eliminated one of our biggest expenses we had per month by buying a license, by spending thousands of dollars to save a few $100s a month. But anyways, I look at what the questions are. So yes, we've been around for a long time. We will be around for many, many years to come. There's not anything, again, all of my focus has always been on reducing risk to the project. Okay, I'll start here. I'm going to work my way back up because I don't remember where this started. Aha, there's one. Shooting star, what are the words of power? Any reagents? So the words of power, this is the one that is tough for me. If you guys have words of power that make sense, Browncoat Jason, since you're the one concerned with it, if you want to give me some words of power that you think make sense for it, go for it. Tell me what they are. Believe it or not, Richard is the one who came up with all the words of power. I implemented the system, and I think I may have entered the data the first time around, but it's one of those things that I turn off. I know some of you guys like it. It is a tier 3. It should have reagents. I don't remember what the reagents were. I will check though. But yeah, our usual rule is tier 3 and above has reagents. It's definitely more powerful than just shooting star, although it has some downside. Again, trying to make sure we never have the apples to apples comparison compared to like a stone arrow. Stone arrow might be able to do more damage, but only if you like really work at it. Get all the stone arrow enchants, get super high strength. The shooting star is an easy, quick, lots of damage, really fast cast. Again, though, the idea being the real sacrifice behind it is the focus cost. That the focus cost is significantly higher, as you would expect of calling a shooting star. Takes a lot of energy. Let's see. Judge Dredd, good game. Can we lower or remove durability loss on masterwork enchant failure? Cost of resource lost is already high enough. I can look into that. Again, I'm working through a bunch of spreadsheets right now. There's a few people who've also shared some spreadsheets with me and some numbers for things. I remember when we changed that, again, we're always looking to try and make things, we don't want to make things too punishing. There's always that balancing act of making things too punishing, because really that punishment turns into, a lot of times, like for something like that, that may just turn into you taking the item and throwing it away. It's not a little thing when you have a failure like that. But we got to balance that whole, not risk versus reward, but more effort versus, cost of failure type stuff. We got to figure out what the good balance. We don't want to make it too easy, because then all this stuff becomes trivial. And that's one of those things too, is we try to make sure with crafting, the skill is really knowing what you're doing and knowing what people want, and also the marketing and all that type stuff. That's on top of having the skill levels and knowing, the proper place and everything you need to craft it. But because that's the challenge there, we want to make sure and keep the cost pretty high, because if we don't and we trivialize it to the point that, most people without much knowledge, without much skill can get to the point where they can make anything they want pretty easily, then we kind of eliminate the whole crafter market. We want to keep that stuff fairly exclusive. We want to keep that stuff fairly rare. So it needs to be fairly expensive, and it's just us trying to find the balance point of what is too punishing and what's too expensive. So I think we may lean a little too heavy right now towards the punishment side of things, but again, that honestly helps the crafters more than they realize, because then the best crafters are the guys getting the sales. Browncoat Jason, one free reroll, then cost more gold, silver for each additional reroll. Get much better results overall. Yeah, we talked about that, doing the reroll, making that something that would be a cost that you could scale up. Again, at the end of the day, we've got to look at, how many resources is this pulling out of the game. We've got to try to come up with something that feels good for that. Now, the other thing that we can do is right now, as you probably know, and by your recommendation there, most of the resources we're pulling out of the game are the gold and silver type resources. The other thing I keep wanting to do that's a bigger task, though, still is trying to get more other items in there that are more the scarce items, rather than making gold and silver the two, items of scarcity, or obsidian in the case of the obsidian armor. But having more small items that are the thing that's scarce in that. Let's see. Can we get some artifact tools that give a special bonus till used up, like obsidian pickaxe, etc.? I like the limited use type thing. Again, if it's a bonus in terms of crafting something that other players can have, then that's, as soon as you give the players a way that they can make something that's a little bit better than what other people have made, that's going to be the only thing that has value anymore. I mean, that's not 100% true, but realistically, that's what all players are going to want, and that's the new normal. So as soon as I add something that could help with actual final goods production, now having something like that was for harvesting, having a pickaxe and a obsidian pickaxe that did faster harvesting. Now that's something that totally could happen. We just don't want to get that into the final production phase. Having it in the refinement phase or the harvesting phase is fine. We just don't want to have that stuff in the end, because the end is where that's where the real magic happens. Having those things that happen as consumable, that actually is good, especially if it is something that you guys could craft and then that becomes a marketable item. I never did the drawing, did I? All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let me do the drawing now, and then I'll leave the names in, and I'll do another drawing at the end for a nice prize. Okay, here we go. Now there's a good number of names in there. All right, last call. This is for the block letter set. One of those new items. Elgarion had another amazing idea. I know I talk great about all the people on the team and say how amazing they are, but he's amazing more than most in terms of coming in with great ideas. And again, I think a lot of that is not that he has great ideas. He does have great ideas, but I think some of that is also, I know he talks to you guys a lot, and he's really good at listening to you guys and channeling you guys. So here we go, picking a winner. Bam. Torque Live, you're going to get a block letter set. All right, let me look and see what other item we have here that I can throw up. Again, I'll throw up for raffle. The player-owned town stuff has been popular. I hate giving those away as a stream item, though, because they have a limited audience. Let me do homes. I like giving away homes. How about, this is one of my favorite ones here, this Adobe Brick 2-story keep courtyard city home. I don't know who has that, but I really like that, even though it doesn't fit in with the theme of a lot of towns. But I think I'm going to do one of those guys just because I really like that guy. Adobe Brick. Oh, wait, but it's a city one. I hate giving away city ones because not many people have city ones. Let me find one that's at least a town or lower. Is there one like that? All right, I'll do the stone 2-story keep with courtyard townhome. That's kind of got the same feel to it, in case you haven't seen this before, where it's got the courtyard. I just like that outdoor courtyard area that's nice for parties or training or whatever else. Oh, and then a city deed. Good idea. Why didn't I think of that? I'll do a town one. Let's see. I'm not going to reset. I'm going to allow entries. It still says block letter set, but just know that it's going to be the stone 2-story keep with courtyard townhome. No, I'm not going to give you a townhome deed. I guess village is the highest thing you can get for free, but you can get you can get Kodos to upgrade in game pretty cheap. And for those who missed it, I forget if we've announced this or not either. I don't think. Oh, Community of the Avatar is here. Have we announced any changes to upgrade prices, Community of the Avatar? I shouldn't be asking that live on air. I should be typing that to you in chat, but yes, we did. Okay. But anyways, we kind of, again, this has always been my big goal, is to bring down the game and make it less pricey everywhere across the board. I've always felt that we're too pricey, but that's Elgarion also fully supports that idea, and he was the one who mentioned it. But we had a sale on that we left up for a long time, honestly, because we forgot. But making the sale price the base price, and then we can probably have some sale prices off of that. That'll be smaller sale prices. So, anyways, bringing down the cost of deeds and upgrading and all that type of stuff, so we can get you guys in houses. Let's see. Also, yay! Community of the Avatar, thank you for taking care of delivery stuff. Let me look at some more questions here. Again, always have tons of stuff to talk about. Before I forget, let me also point out, stay safe out there, guys. Things are actually getting better these days on the pandemic in terms of new cases. But it's still pretty rough, and I think everybody's kind of also like me, where they're expecting an explosion here with school going back in session. Just allergies, not actual illness. Let's see. I see Serenium Melorian ask, will the Kodos sale include the deed upgrades too? The Kodos sale, I mean, that is just the buying more Kodos will go on sale. Sorry, Elgarion, I stole your thunder. I announced it a little bit early here, but I think it's going live tomorrow or the next day. And they were asking about it. So that just reduces the cost of buying crowns, and then with the crowns in game, we'll probably have some deed sales at some point. I'm not sure if we're going to have them right now, but at some point we'll have a deed sale. So it does reduce the cost of the deeds, just because you can buy crowns at a reduced price, and then you can upgrade your deed cheaper. Let's see. Sorgan Tax Call. Any updates you can share on the progress towards deeper guild systems or guild alliances? So there's been a lot of work done lately. This is one of the things we've said we've been doing, but you guys don't really see that much. There's been a lot of, let's just call them really deep-seated bugs that Wizard Smoke has been trying to work through. And I think you guys have seen, well, if you played on QA, you've probably seen that we've been updating QA more often, and sometimes we've updated QA with old data. We're trying to dig through a lot of those old bugs that we've kind of just avoided eye contact with. And he's been doing a great job of tracking some of those things down. Another one that he has tracked down, that's another deep bug that was not one of these super easy to reproduce, not easy to fix, and will not get fixed for at least the start of this release. It'll probably get fixed in a patch. But is the I think it's the rapid watering bug. So that's the rapid watering bug, where if you water too quickly, you basically get to a point of a red bucket. That's another one of those, seems like it should be easy bugs, but actually it's a much deeper issue. But anyways, that should be fixed. That was one that I forget who mentioned, but somebody mentioned it on a stream here recently, that we had seen reports of it, but a lot of times we see reports and we can't reproduce it, and it doesn't seem that critical. Someone brought up some extra information about it, but it'll make your bucket turn red, which to us is a bad sign. That means there's something out of sync between the client. Oh, your bucket turns red, and then to fix it, you have to exit the scene and come back in. And as devs, I immediately recognize that as, that is a out of sync client server type thing, which is bad news. But he's actually looked into that, identified what the fix is, and we'll get that fixed soon too. Again, though, trying to work on making sure Allergies. Trying to make sure we're working on bugs as much as adding new stuff to the game. Oh, but I mentioned that because there's some bugs in the guild system that have also been looked at, and that's one of the other things we're working on. So I'm hoping to get another one of our devs, older devs, undone. I'm expecting to get some more of his time soon. So we will probably get him set up on some more stuff, hopefully in the not too distant future. And he touched a lot of those systems, including the guild stuff. He's also touched a lot of the ranking system and a bunch of other things. So he would probably be somebody to do that. And again, when I mention the revenue for us is just a measure of how many team members we can have. That's an example of it. Is we've had the revenue has been continuing to climb, so we're getting more time from one and only. He's been working on the mounts. If you haven't seen that video, which of course me putting that out there infuriated all the artists and the devs. But he's been giving us work on the mount, so he's got mount stuff to a point that it's actually getting pretty close now. And we need some animation, we need some state machine stuff. But it's getting pretty close, and we'll have to get some art. Of course, the art mounts that'll go in first will be things that exist in the game already. So I think he was using the Palomino horse, but basically, if there's something that can be ridden that makes sense, you can expect it to show up as a mount. That's one that will probably, when it gets a little bit closer, we'll have to have an entire stream on, most likely, just to talk about that and some of the decisions that we're making on it. But anyways, it'll probably work out as a system where you can have a creature that you've tamed that you can convert into a mount. We will see how that works. But, and yes, treasure pile, I get it. Including Nightmare, so yeah, so we'll see what we end up on that. Again, we've got to measure for most games. I looked at mounts in almost all games out there, and oh my goodness, it's for one, it's one of the things that people monetize on the most. And it makes sense. It's one of the things where it's more about show and flair and less about power. So that's the type of stuff you do want to monetize on, is stuff that's more convenience and show type stuff rather than power. So we're trying to look at what we're going to have some that are free mounts, but trying to figure out what we do for monetizing. I looked at, again, this is one of those things I was floored, was looking at some games. I think it was Terra, free to play MMO, where they're mounts that you can buy little cars and stuff, and it's kind of a sci-fi fantasy type game, but they let you drive little cars. You can buy cars in the Crown Shop and their money shop. We're not going to have that, but we will come up with some way to let you have all those things. Ooh, charge for horse armor. I like that. It's Easy Spectral Tiger and Flying Dragon's best monetizing system. Yeah, and that's Johannes. That's one of the things. Again, we're going to have several more talks before we actually come up with a final plan for it. So when I talk about here, it's really just all speculating and bouncing ideas off you guys. But that is one of those things. Having what to do for them, okay, well, you've got a nightmare. Do we let you just, you can take a nightmare pet and turn that into a mount that you can ride? You can ride a nightmare, or do we make it so, okay, well, the thing you have to do is there's a 200 crown shop item that you have to use. That's like the special bridle that you put on them. But the other thing that's been talked about is, okay, or do we make it so you can convert it over? You can do that for free. But then there's other stuff that you can use to decorate or put on different, have the saddlebags as a deco for it, and the saddlebags have your emblem on it. I can't remember what it's called. I'm horrible. Your emblem, your marquee, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, heraldry. Yes, your heraldry on it. Brain not working. Stop it, everybody. I know. Hey, I am Sanyo. But anyways, we're going to have lots of talks on it. If you guys have ideas for how to make that work for us, again, we want to make it we want to make it fun. That's always our thing. But we do know, for most games, it's like one of the highest monetizing things. And we do keep an eye on money because, money equals team members for us. So that's kind of an important deal because team members equals content and faster getting to other things. But anyways, you guys can think on it. I'm sure you'll come up with some ideas. If you guys have a thread you want to point me at in the forums, feel free. And there are 3 colors of tameable horses in the game, have been for years. Yeah, so that's what we got to figure out, again, just what the best option is and what feels fair to you guys. All right, let me race through a couple of questions here to get them out of the way. And then I'm going to do another drawing, and I will call it a day so I can go spend some time. We're doing the homeschooling thing. Our local school district actually delayed the start of all school, like even remote schooling, by 4 weeks. And then they're not going to have in-person school for another 4 weeks after that. So our school locally didn't start, but we're going to homeschool Maxine, and we actually started last week. So give you 10 minutes. Yeah, and Sorgan, Taxel call, Kodo mounts. Yeah, I mean, that's another one, is having mounts that are something I think we can sell that feels fair because it's really a convenience thing, is mounts that let you travel faster on the overworld. Just because that doesn't really equate to power, that's really just time. Faster travel within a scene could be considered power, but honestly, within a scene, if you get knocked off your horse, you can't use it in combat. That's kind of where I measure the line. But we'll figure it out. We'll come up with something that feels fair that you guys don't scream bloody murder about. All right, a few more quick questions. Ooh, I like this. Sorgan to call. Will there be a summoned mount for Magic Tree? Ooh, I like that. Like a ghost horse type thing. That would be pretty sexy, and we can just have a high reagent cost or something. Interesting. And yeah, and also the idea of the Kodo mounts that work as fast travel between lots of player owns. That's another one, and that's one of those where we start stepping on toes, as I'm sure, Jack and Laz might be out there. I think I saw maybe Laz chime in, or at least enter into a raffle. That's one of those where we don't want to start stomping on player toes in terms of now player scrolls just, sell 1/10 as much. Of course, they're already angry because they drop too much, so maybe we could cut them out of drops and then make them the horse that does them. Please don't sing. I do not sing unless paid. Thank you, the Dragon Paladin. Thank you for the follow. Somber78, thank you for the host. Let's see, who else did I miss? Yagan Maru, thank you for the follow. Thank you. But anyways, yeah, I mean, there's a ton of ideas for it. And a lot of it is content that we already have. As the best part. It's just reusing content we already have once we have the system in place to make it so we can reuse for, so you can write a wolf or, write a nightmare or a unicorn or whatever. So I guess all the debates will have to start on whether or not boys can ride unicorns. Anyways. Let me do this last drawing and get out of here and go spend some time with my munchkin doing our homeschooling, which is why I mentioned that earlier. Oh, look, I made it through a stream without talking about my fish. Fish. Hold on, trying to find my... There it is. All right, get into it. This is for the, I forget, the 2-story town, castle, whatever thing with a cool courtyard. You guys know what it is. I know it says block letter set. It's not. My fish splash. That is correct. I did say that. I was just looking back there. I came in I think most people know I work early in the mornings quite often, and I was in here early in the mornings, and I was testing something that was causing, I was debugging something that was causing my screen to flash. And, dark room, the fish light wasn't on, and the lights flashed. See, now I'm talking about fish. And one of my dojo loaches shot several inches up in the air, because that's the only way you can get out of my tank, landed and fell behind my tank. Which is pretty good fall for him. I picked him up and threw him back in immediately, and he was okay. He's in there now. That's the big boy dojo loach. But anyways, there, I talked about fish. That's why I turn and listen now when I hear splashing, is I want to make sure, listen for the thud of a fish falling on the floor behind. All right, let's do the giveaway, and I'll look for somebody to raid. If you're a streamer, you better hurry up and get out there and get a stream going. If you want the raid, I think there might have been somebody out there already, but here we go. Closing giveaways and picking winner. You ready? Ooh, just in under the wire Griffler. All right, the rest of you guys look like you're good. Here we go. Picking a winner, hands on head. Vino Corlin, the fastest man alive. Congratulations, Vino. For those who don't know, we basically had to make Vino rules to keep him from winning all of the come find us when we hide somewhere games. So congratulations, Vino. Let's see. Let me see who's out there on Twitch right now. Oh, there's a last diameter. Let's see. That was when I went in. Oh, he's still there. Opulence, I has it. We're raiding that guy. I think that may be a new streamer there. No idea if they're speaking English. I think so. All right, I think we're going to raid this guy. We'll make his day, I guess. Yes, he is currently standing still, totally idle. But he has 49 followers that will make his day. Guys, again, stay safe out there. Stay home. Wear a mask. Do all that stuff. Wash your hands. Okay. Well, he's kind of sitting there idle. We'll see. Hopefully he's going to wake up. Oh, he has an emote only mode? Well, that's going to be kind of lame. All right, we'll give him a try. Maybe we'll talk him into dropping that. But guys, again, thank you for joining the stream today. Sorry if I rambled too much. Again, my brain is kind of frazzled right now. I'm really sitting around watching builds and babysitting stuff and fixing things as it breaks. So happy to get a stream in, though, while I wait for things. I will see you on Friday. Again, we're going to have at least one special guest on Friday. I don't know if Richard will be there or Star will be there. I did have some people saying I should be drinking on the stream. I'm considering it. I kind of want to plan that out ahead of time a little bit, but sometime soon. We'll see how I feel on Friday. I'm trying to... oh, we're raiding. Here we go. Never mind. Right now. All right, I guess I should